Did you get my text?
No.
I haven't gotten the email from Chris Cole.
Oh, yeah, no, I haven't either. We'll ask Bob. He might have got it.
Okay, and that's fine.
And if not, we skip it.
Okay. Do what we do. Hello, Kim. How are you?
I am fine.
Good.
Just gosh awful busy. I just had meetings up the wazoo this.
Oh, really? Wow. Some days are like that.
Pardon?
Some days are like that, I guess, huh?
Right, but all of them were on Zoom, and I thought to myself, my goodness, how exhausted would I be if I'd had to drive to all of them?
All of them. Yes, I understand.
Dress better from the waist down. And
I was just accused of, Nana, you look so good. And I said, okay, that's nice of you to say. I'll pass. They were all
no, you're not sure if you want to say thank you or
Yep. That's
Days
it.
are like that, I guess, huh?
Right, but all of them were on Zoom, and I thought to myself, my goodness, how exhausted would I be if I'd had to drive to all of them?
All of them. Yeah.
Why are we hearing me again?
That's me. I'm checking for the.
I was just, Nana, you look so good. And I said,
The recording, are you working on the recording?
Nice.
Oh,
I'll pass.
Oh,
was just a little
you're in your
odd.
library tonight.
you're not sure if you want to say thank you or.
Yep.
Colby's doing something, and what we just said is,
Oh, I was just saying, what's going on?
They're talking and the mouths are moving. I like your library background. Very cool.
Oh, thank you.
I just wish I had that library.
Yeah. My library is very small. Well, I've got like 2, 4, 6 bookcases, and they're full, but I need to rotate them.
Since
Yeah,
at
our old house, we had the 4th bedroom came with an entire wall of bookcases. And so almost all of our books were in there, but this house didn't come with that. And there's really, I don't know. My husband made this bookcase here, but there's books in our bedroom. There's books in the den. There's just books everywhere.
Well, we had a formal dining room that we never used. So we'd been here for years. I thought, I'm tired of the table being there and send it dusted off all the time. So we got rid of the table. And we put a whole wall of books, which we refer to as a library. And then the other side has piano and guitar music. And so it's kind of our music / library. And we have, chairs in there to sit by the fireplace and read and stuff. So it's really nice. But at one time we had a foosball table when my son was still home. It's like, okay, now that he's away from home, it's become more civilized than just a guy's game room, Yeah. So.
Well, and I mean, we're not even counting all the paperback sci-fi books that my husband has out in boxes in the garage. So we have a lot of books.
I am a member of Kindle, so I get all my books from Amazon.
Right. Well, I have that
like
now.
Kindle too, Ross.
Yeah, I have that now, but there are still books that I don't know. We don't want to get rid of.
It's funny. If I read a a regular book, I will fall asleep in seconds. But if I read it on my Kindle book reader, I tend to stay awake. But since the pandemic started, I am now on my 18th book.
Wow.
Oh my God. It works.
That is more books than I've read the last 18 years.
That's fantastic.
And almost all of them from the late 1800s.
Oh.
Right now I'm reading Jules Verne. So.
Oh, no, that's nice.
Yeah. A lot of H.G. Wells and other books like that. So.
Well, I mean, I read all the I read all of the Sherlock Holmes books. Now I am on Sherlock Holmes, and I don't know that I'm pronouncing it right. They call it like pastiche or something, where someone is writing in the style of Sherlock or of Arthur Conan Doyle. Oh. Because I loved when I was done with all the Sherlock Holmes books, I was so sad. I'm like, I love these. So I found out my husband calls it fan fiction.
Well,
so what you're telling me is really bad fan fiction. What?
I'll have to look into those after this because I'm reading a lot of sci-fi lately. So, old sci-fi.
I don't know. I just love everything to do with Sherlock Holmes.
I have to continuously use the dictionary part of it, though, to understand what some of these words are. And some of them are so old that they even Wikipedia doesn't know what they mean.
Oh,
So it's
They're using different language. Yeah.
language.
hi, Jose.
Yeah, last night, Sherlock and Dr. Watson went through a blaze door into the kitchen, and I've been meaning to circle back around and figure out what a BLAIZE door is. It's like, okay, that means something, but I don't know what that means.
Well, when I first started reading it, they used H.G. Wells used consonants a lot. And I had to figure out what that meant in that context. And it basically means their expression.
Oh,
He used what?
Consonants is
Not
how it's
countenance.
pronounced.
Not
Countenance?
Countenance?
Yes.
Yeah, I think.
Realized that meant expression.
Oh, who's looking up? Oh, a blaze.
Look, see what a blaze door is.
Except
Oh,
it's David
getting an
Blaze of the
answer
Blue
for you,
Door,
Jen.
whatever that is.
There's a blaze. There's the name of a book.
look at you.
It's probably an allusion to that book.
Maybe.
That would be my guess.
I've seen the word before. I just don't know what it is. Well, the funny thing is I'll read books and they'll talk about a certain kind of dessert, for example, that they're eating in England. So I asked my friend in England, hey, what is this particular cake they're referring to? She's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know. I'm like, oh, never mind.
Well, I'm feeling a little lost in these days. Dr. Seuss is everything to me. My grandson just read me a whole book, and I thought he just is getting out of kindergarten, Valentino. And I was just so amazed. The good egg. And I said, Nana used to call her brother a good egg. And he goes, Nana, explain that to me. A good egg. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, here we go. There we go.
I actually read the entire Harry Potter series. I kind of enjoyed that.
Oh, that one is so good.
And then I read all 3 of the Hunger Games books.
Ooh,
No.
that's a good story. Hi, Lynn.
Hi,
Lynn.
trying to, I guess you know what? I was on a Zoom this morning. My computer worked fine. Now tonight I get on and it's not working.
Yeah, that happens.
Well, unless things change drastically, this is going to be our last Zoom call, right?
Yeah.
Well, unless Lynn wants to zoom in instead of driving all the way out here at times.
Which may happen.
There may be some compromises.
Yeah, I don't know. I like both ways or not both ways. I'm not even sure anymore. Only because I'll miss the kids running around.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna miss wearing shorts to board meetings. That's for sure.
Okay, I wear my slippers, but I don't wear shorts.
Yeah, slippers. It's pluses and minuses for me. I enjoy the fact that I don't have to drive to wherever I'm going. But at the same time, I think my family's going to be really happy that I'm not having these meetings.
Yeah, it's the drive home at night that's like, oh, it's dark and we're having to go home.
I'll have to tell you our special meeting that we had, I really enjoyed being face to face with everybody and chatting and just you get to know people a little better. I think that way it was a pleasure.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed to be a little dark, but I think it's because the window behind me. I don't know what I can do about it.
Sorry.
I don't know if you know that your
Use TV is
That's not mine.
I said your camera's not on, so I don't know if you want to turn it on.
Arco, quality top tier.
I don't think she heard you, Colby.
I'm sorry.
You say, Rebecca, your camera is not turned on. I
Okay.
don't know if that's on
Okay,
purpose.
there we go. Hopefully, yeah. I'm there. Yeah. Where am I?
Not yet, but it could take a second usually.
Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah, I see it blank.
Still nothing.
I see my name with no picture.
yeah, down the bottom toward the left where it says video, start video.
Start video. Okay. Well, it's kind of late
Little
for
video
me.
camera.
Rhett, did you check your email?
Well, I guess I'm gonna miss out on that. I got these new glasses that just don't even do me well. Bifocals I don't work well with. So let me see here.
Got it. I'm just gonna view it, make sure I can see what I need to see. And I have exactly what I need.
All right.
So this is for,
Video. Nope.
On my screen, there's like a little video camera and then it says start video or stop video.
Yeah,
Depending on
down
whether
toward the
it's on or
bottom
off.
left.
Yeah, mine just has the picture straight across. I'm trying to move along here, but I don't see it. Nope. Go back this way.
Move your mouse to the bottom of the screen.
All right.
A request to see if you can start video, if that helps any.
Well, thank you all for trying to help me here.
No problem.
Colby, I'm gonna print this out and then save it to the drive. So we,
The host is.
Perfect. Wow.
Okay.
There we
There
go.
you go. You got it.
Thank you, host.
Okay, and I think Mr. Godinez, I'll have you read the pledge tonight, if that's all right
Okay.
with you.
Yes.
All right, so let's start this meeting of the Hoop Area Recreation and Parks District at 6:32. And let's do the pledge, please.
Please rise. Put your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We had our special board of directors meeting. It was a closed session meeting. And the reportable action is we did the general manager's evaluation and discussed goals and objectives for fiscal year 2021. And we also agreed to give our general manager a 5% pay increase. I think, Mr. Owen, that covers it.
Sounds like it does, yes.
Okay. So now we will have a roll call, please.
yes. Edgar Castellan,
Present.
Jose Luis Godinez,
Present?
Kim Gerald Johnson,
here.
Ross Leja,
Here.
and Rebecca Redorty Byrne.
Present.
Okay. Are there any presentations or recognitions this evening?
None this evening, Mr. President.
Okay, and are there any public comments this evening?
I have not received any.
Okay, great. All right, in that case, we move on to item 4, which is the consent calendar. Would anybody like to pull anything off the consent calendar? Seeing none, I will move that we approve the consent calendar.
I second that
I-
motion.
Go ahead.
Okay, we have a first and second. Did you get that, Loretta?
Was that Edgar?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I thought so. Okay. Sorry, I looked away. Yes, I did get that.
Okay, can we have roll call, please?
Yes. Edgar Castellan,
Yes.
Jose Luis Godinez,
Yes.
Kim Gerald Johnson,
Aye.
Ross Leja,
Here, yes.
Rebecca Redorty Byrne.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, as we move into board action items, I would like to say that we are going to be moving item 5.2 to another meeting as the applicant did not get his paperwork in time. Is that correct, Mr. DeGuid?
Correct.
Okay, so we will be taking that one off our agenda this evening. And we will go now to item 5.1, which is the adoption of the resolution of intent number 2021-18 of the Board of Directors of the Hoop Area Recreation and Park District for annexation number 25 to its Community Facilities District number 2016-1. May we have a staff report, please?
Yes, Mr. President, as you just stated, this is annexation number 25 to CFD number 2016-1. This is for the property currently known as High Point Emerald Ridge LLC. Board may remember this has previously been referred to as Emerald Ridge North. It's generally located along Canal Street, or Avalon, I'm sorry. Avalon Canal Street in the Rubin area north of the 60th.
Excuse me, Colby.
I'm sorry.
Whoever the person online that is KCR, could you please mute your microphone, please? Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Sorry about that. Okay. So as I said, this is a High Point Emerald Ridge LLC. It was previously referred to as Emerald Ridge North, generally located north of the 60 freeway along Avalon and Canal Street. This proposed development will make up 204 residential units. And this is the resolution of intent for the formation of the annex to CFD 2016-1. And myself, Mr. Owen or Lynn Gruber would be available should you have any questions.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from the board?
Hold the map here for you.
No questions at all? Okay, then we will, would somebody like to make the motion, please?
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Directors approve and adopt the submitted resolution of intention number 2021-18 for annexation number 25 to CFD number 2016-1.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can we have roll call, please?
Yes, Edgar Capsalon,
Yes.
Jose Luis Godinez,
Yes.
Kim Gerald Johnson,
Aye.
Ross Leisha,
Yes.
Rebecca Redorte Burns.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 5-0. Move on to item 5.3. And this is discussion of purchasing and installation of a screen and projector for Skyview Event Center. Mr. DeGood, please.
Yes. As Skyview is opening up here to the public, one of the things that we opted not to include in the construction of the facility was the projector and screen, just because of the markup that's associated with it with the contractors. So staff went out, sought bids. We received 3 bids. The low bid being Rhythm Tech Productions out of, I believe they're out of Colton, for $18,846.67. This seems like a lot of money. I understand that. This is not a typical projector that we would normally purchase at Best Buy or Lowe's. Best Buy or something like that. This is actually a high-powered 10,000 watt projector. And if you look at the screens, 189-inch diagonal. That's pretty good size. With the big screen comes the need for the high-powered projector. When we did construct the facility, we've already added power into the beam along the western end of the facility to accommodate this, as well as there's already power and the wires ran for the switches to lower and raise it. So that's one of the reasons we're able to keep our costs down here. With that, I would be available for any questions you may have.
Okay.
What is the warranty on that? Once purchased, what do we have? A warranty?
3 years on the projector and 10 years on the screen.
Oh, good. Very good.
Any other questions?
Goodbye.
Mhm.
So that's
By the way,
including everything, including installation, right?
Correct. This is including
Okay.
installation
Okay.
at prevailing wage.
I will say, when I looked at the itemized list and saw the cost of the projector, I was like, holy cow. And I went and did my own research, and believe me, that is at the lower end of the cost of that size projector. Some of them go up as high as 15, 16 grand. So I was shocked.
Good
So,
stuff.
Yeah.
You know how much we saved? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Sorry.
Do you know how much we saved by not including it in the construction and buying it separately?
Typically, our contract with AMG was a 15% markup.
Hmm.
So the assumption being the purchase was the same, same dollar amount for the purchase of the screen and the projector. We're saving $150-$1,500.
Good.
Almost 2,000.
It's 3.
Yeah, of course, I was looking at retail prices, but this is not what they're paying for it, but this was not that much of a markup, I don't believe, on this particular camera.
I don't believe so, no.
Because retail if we want to go out and buy one, would be anywhere between 8,500 and 12. So depending on where, what store you buy it from, what outlet. So I don't think the markup on this was much at all.
Nice.
Okay.
Yes.
Everybody's satisfied with this? Would someone like to make the motion, please?
I make a motion to accept the purchase of this camera or projector, whatever all you want to call it. It's definitely a credit to your staff to search out like they do. So thank you for that too.
Just to confirm the dollar amount at $18,486.
Yes. Yes,
I
I'm
second that
sorry.
motion. I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Did you get the second, Loretta?
Barely. Was that Jose?
It was
or-
Edgar. Edgar.
Yeah. I've got that.
Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Edgar Castellan,
Yes.
Jose Luis Godinez,
Yes.
Kim Gerald Johnson,
Aye.
Ross Leisha,
Yes.
Rebecca Redorte Byrne.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 5-0. Let's move on to item 5.4, which is the addition of security gates to Skyview Event Center. Mr. DeGued.
Yes, again, another item here for Skyview. This is one that we did realize during construction that the security gates at the two entrances, one on Shearwater and one on Wineville, was omitted from the construction drawings. And we could have added it at the time. Unfortunately, with the addition of the street lights that we had to do, we opted to not include them at that point, not knowing where the conduit needed to run exactly for the street lights that we had to add along Wineville and Shearwater. So this is being brought forward out of just sheer timing now that the street lights have been installed. These are some pretty substantial footings that need to be installed for these gates that go down 3, 4, 5 feet, some of them. So that's why the timing of where it is now. The other thing that this is additionally adding is along Pat's Ranch Road. As you're aware right now, Pat's Ranch Road does not currently go all the way through from Limonite to Belgrave. And it actually dead ends behind the new event center. With that road being open during the day, somebody could very easily drive onto the property from the backside of the facility and gain access to the building or do donuts in the undeveloped area, something like that. So this also includes some temporary chain link fencing until the park is completed. We have not added fencing along Shearwater simply because there is a curb there and we feel that is enough to keep the honest person honest, is I guess the best way to do it. We didn't want to detract from the building at all, but we're trying to eliminate illegal dumping and things like that that would be taking place on the Pat's Ranch Road. So that's what the additional chain link fence along the backside of the building is for. As you're aware, Vernola Park currently has gates on the parking lot, and this will be allowed to secure that facility completely at night. This is the goal of the board to increase our security of our facilities after hours to reduce vandalism and graffiti.
I had a question. When you say temporary, you don't mean we're putting up a temporary fence. You mean
No,
that it's a permanent type of chain link fence,
it's a
but
perfect type of chain link fence, but it is not like a wrought iron or anything like that. It's not designed to be there for 20 years.
right. Okay. Are we at all thinking or interested in where the previous parking lot at Vernola, where you can go from that parking lot to this parking lot? Do you anticipate us needing any kind of like gates there? Are there going to be times where this parking lot should be gated off from that one or anything like that?
We talked about that internally and looked at different options because of that. And ultimately we went to just the overall locking of the gates for the two combined parking lots. Just simply because if somebody comes in for an event at the sports park, say a baseball game or something, and that parking lot we know fills rather quickly, and they've spilled over into the parking lot associated with the event center, We wouldn't want to necessarily lock them out and make it harder to get back to their vehicle, and vice versa. Somebody comes in for an event center and park in the parking lot. Their car is now locked into the parking lot at
Right.
Granola, but the rest of the parking lot is open. So we opted, we just felt logistically it was easier for us to just do the perimeter of the facility.
Yeah, I was just curious if we thought there might be any reason to do that.
Well, I guess my concern with that would be if we do have something going on at the event center, but the park is closed and people see the access, they might still head over that way. Do you think it'd be a good idea maybe to just put a couple of posts and a chain across there just to make the intention known that there's no passage at this time? Or, I mean, that would be relatively inexpensive, but.
Yeah, the chain worries me because now we have to leave it out or stick it to the side of the road, or staff has to haul it out there. Because there'll be security associated with all the events after hours at Skyview. And there's typically 2 security guards. One of their responsibilities can simply be walking over and telling those people that that part of the park is closed.
Okay.
And remember, the park itself, the gates into the park itself do get locked as well when the park is locked up by our closing staff. So it would be people sitting in the parking lot, not accessing the park itself.
Okay. And the gates you're talking about for Skyview, are they the basically the same type that's already existing at the parking lot for Granola
Yeah,
Park?
we
Or?
have to model them after the ones that are already there at the first parking lot at Granola, so they look like they match.
Good.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah.
Okay, then I will make the motion and I move the board of directors accept the bid from Elrod Fence Company in the amount of $12,387. And may I also mention that I'm happy it's going to a local business.
I'd like to second that motion.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. When we have roll call, please.
Yes, Edgar Castellan,
Yes.
Jose Luis Godinez,
Yes.
Kim Gerald Johnson,
Yes.
Ross Leja,
Yes,
Rebecca Bedorte Byrne.
Yes.
motion carries 5-0. Next up is item 5.5, the updated employee salary schedule. Can we have the staff report, please?
Yes, Mr. President. This is an item the Budget Personnel Committee has been working on. It was something that has been requested from the board about 2 years ago, really. We began working on this last year and then the pandemic hit. So it was not an appropriate time to complete it at that time. So it is something that staff has brought forward to the Budget Personnel Committee, and they wanted this brought to the board prior to the adoption of the final budget for next fiscal year, 2021-22. What staff did was we surveyed every full-time position within our stable and compared it to a number of outside agencies. And we took a lot of guidance from the board on this one. I'm just going to pull up the accounting tech position so you can see this. We used obviously our current salary range, Valleywide, which is another park and recreation district, JCSD, the Hooper Community Services District, the City of Fontana, City of Moreno Valley, Desert Recreation District, the City of Murrieta, the City of Corona, City of Norco, and Hesperia Park and Recreation District. What we did, we tried to find like agencies, similar in size, operational budgets as close as possible. And then also within our general area that we would essentially, for lack of better terms, being competing with for staff retention or in the hiring process. The goal was to be to remain competitive. Went through a couple different variations of this. Ultimately, what the committee requested was, for the example being this position, we took the average minimum salary, the average maximum salary of every position. We threw out the low salary and we threw out the high salary. And that's where we came up with this average. So for this position, the average comes up to $21.69. Our current salary starts at $16. This is probably the largest jump that's out there in anything. What's been proposed, I believe, was on the first page here. Yes. So this is the kind of a summary sheet of all the positions. From deputy general manager all the way down to the maintenance 2 position. As you can see, for the most part, our positions were on the low end. Some very significantly, others were not as bad as we had thought. There are a couple positions I want to point out: the recreation specialist and our receptionist position, as well as the irrigation tech. There's no proposed changes on those. They were in the mean salary range already, so we did not feel it was necessary to make a change to those positions. From there, the committee then looked at the averages, and we came up to the proposed new salary ranges. So with that, I would be available for any questions you may have. And just to clarify too, we are at a balanced proposed budget, as you guys looked at 2 weeks ago, and that has these proposed salaries built in for our positions already. So when it comes to a question of can the budget handle it? Yes, it can, and we are actually currently in the black by about $45,000.
I have a question.
Yes.
In terms of the salaries, I see those. Did we also look at the qualifications? Did we look at the job description? Are we coupling that with just how quickly or how it would be that our employees would work towards completing those type of things? Whether, and I'm just talking in generalities. I don't know. First of all, when was the last time we visited our job descriptions?
Loretta, you can help me on this one. Our job descriptions were completely revamped in 2018.
Yes.
There's been a couple tweaks to them to different positions throughout the years, but as part of this going through the salary survey, yes, that was something I had to do. There tend to be some very generic, recreation coordinator or recreation supervisor job titles. But again, for the example of accounting tech, that is a very generic term that there's agencies that have accounting tech 1, 2, 3, senior accounting, you name it. There was a variety. So we had to look at different agencies to make sure we were comparing apples to apples for all these positions. But yeah, we did look at our job descriptions compared to theirs to make sure that we were looking at the similar and like positions.
Okay, and what of the qualifications for this position, that position? Like, did we also review those?
Job description references as well.
Okay. So we don't have, as you say, those different levels 1, 2, and 3. We omitted those and have just straight job descriptions with the salary ranges of what one could earn, and then what it takes for the person to qualify for that position. And I think I had asked this question before in terms of if we had individuals that have been able to get from one category to the next, or certainly looking in terms of long employment. So if I really look to this other job, I would say to myself, well, let me look at the job qualifications. If I don't have them, I'm going to work towards that. Have we had that kind of momentum? I don't know.
Yeah, we do. There's a couple examples of that. That was one thing the committee did look at, primarily when it came to our maintenance 1 and maintenance 2 position.
Oh.
We talked about that a lot, but an example would be, we have a number of employees within the recreation department that have promoted. You look at, I'll use Debbie at the senior center. She started, when I started here at the district, she was a receptionist, Loretta?
No, she was a recreation leader.
She was a recreation leader part-time. She then became a senior recreation leader, a recreation specialist, is now a recreation coordinator.
Correct.
So there have been advancement opportunities, primarily as we've grown over the past couple of years.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that.
And Ms. Wick, the prime example. She started here when I was here my first time around 25 years ago. I see Lynn smiling. Zena started with us as a part-time recreation leader. And Zena's been with the district going on 30 years now. And she's now our manager. So there are examples of that.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear it. I won't ask again, but I'm glad to hear it. Thank you.
No, not a problem.
One thing I wanted to point out, because this is a question that Ross and I had. So if you have someone who's in a position right now and they've topped out in their salary range, and their new salary range, goes up much higher, Mr. DeGwitt is not going to put them topped out in their new salary range. They will get a raise from what they're earning now within the new salary range, but they will then have the opportunity to keep growing and getting merit increases through that salary range. So no one is going to go to a just topped out from one to topped out from another, because we have some that, to be honest, the topped out salary they're earning now is below the first level in the new range, because we were just that far out of sync in terms of what those positions should earn.
Sounds that that's the case. So again, forgive me. I put on my HR cap for a moment, and well said, Kim. Well understood. I'm glad to hear that too.
Mr. Grid, have you thought any more about how you want to handle the maintenance employees? The discussions that we've had with that, or?
Yeah, one of the just to give some background, one of the concerns from the committee on our maintenance position, that's where we have the most employees in the same classifications.
Okay.
Wanting to essentially create opportunities for advancement within those classifications. And historically, we have been tied by the budget where it specifically said we had 4 maintenance 1 positions, 4 maintenance 2 positions within the budget as the example. So there wasn't necessarily advancement unless a position opened up. And one of the things the committee wanted to look at was being able to have more discretion to move somebody to a different classification if they met our criteria, being by experience, maybe special training they've received, something along those lines, that they weren't stuck at a maintenance 1 position until somebody left or retired. So as there's room within the budget, there'll be some moves from our couple of maintenance 1s to maintenance 2 positions because of where they're working now, how we're working our maintenance staff. As you recall, we've switched over to contracting out all of our mowing now over parks. Prior to this, we had a maintenance 2, which is essentially our lead maintenance worker of the mow crew, and 2 maintenance 1s that were under him. Well, that's not necessarily the case now. These individuals are out on their own. They're being asked to make decisions in the field. So there's some changes that will come associated with that. And this is all pending budget support.
I understood what you said. So what is the dilemma? I think it's in order, everything that you say, to what my knowledge is. So do we have a dilemma with that? I think that's the right approach.
It's just a change in philosophy.
Okay.
So I think really what the committee was hoping is that the rest of the board would, I guess, essentially agree with that new change in philosophy.
Well, I guess I tend to tell you that maybe not philosophy, because we have all different kinds of criteria as to why we would do what you're proposing that we would do. We would have documentation to that to show that, Rebecca Byrne had this training, she did this, and I'm just using my name. Therefore, supporting what you might be concerned about. I think there would be no concern with all those different items stated at the time that we would change the salary, if that's what we would do.
Correct. So it's again, by say change in philosophy is we were specifically listing the budget for the maintenance, X number of maintenance 1s and X number of maintenance 2s. We don't do that for the recreation department when it comes like our part-time staff. We have a dollar amount in the budget of $300,000, and the maintenance or the recreation department knows that they have essentially $300,000 in labor for the year. If they do that with 20 employees or 50 employees, within the legality of the law, that's what they know that they have to work with. And we're looking a little more similarly within the maintenance department as well now.
I support that type of thinking in terms of what you're saying.
I think part of what the Budget and Personnel Committee's concern is that we're very lucky that we have very loyal employees. And we have had now and in the past had a lot of maintenance 2 folks that stay with us for a very long time. But that also means if we hire a brand new maintenance 1 who might be, a real crackerjack employee, that person would literally have no opportunity to move up to a maintenance 2 position unless one of those people decided to take a job somewhere else, decided to retire, got hit by a bus.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't motivate someone to stay with us,
Right.
thinking,
Right.
And when you work with people, fairly quickly, within a year of you working with people, Jack's going to retire in about 3 years. John has plans to move to Arizona, and what your potential movement upward is. And there's just very little movement upward. And so we just didn't want to lose really great employees because we had no opportunity to offer them any advancement. And if you look at the salary structure, we're not talking 100,000 to 150,000. This is it's really a small dollar amount to reward a good employee and keep them on.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We just want to leave it. We just want there to be the opportunity. So yes, it could be in the future, instead of 4 maintenance 1s and 4 maintenance 2s, we may have 8 maintenance 2s.
Right.
But that's okay because we're rewarding people for doing a good job.
That's the key. That's the
Right.
key.
We keep the classifications and skill levels, but budget for basically 8 maintenance personnel, period.
Right.
So it gives Kobe all the discretion that he needs to organize the maintenance department how he needs to, or our maintenance supervisor. But
Yes.
so
That was
Okay.
kind of what we were looking at.
any more questions?
Very basic question for me. So like looking at some of these descriptions where it says step and it's tiered in by A, B, C. What does that mean?
So we'll take the lifeguard right here. How's that? So
Yeah.
typically we hire a lifeguard the first year at step A. When they came back for the second season, they'd be eligible for a merit increase to step B. Technically, our policy says a seasonal or part-time employee is available for a merit increase after working 1,000 hours. Within take the recreation and community partnership manager, our recreation manager. They're eligible for a merit increase annually based upon their employee evaluation. Unfortunately, when they max out, there's no longer anything available for them. But these are just set steps, so it's not an arbitrary pay scale that I decide I'm going to pay Joe $22 and Fred $22.50. There's actual set steps within there.
Each step is 2.5%.
Correct. Yes, I'm sorry. Each step is a 2.5% step.
Got it. So if someone is new, they start at step A, right?
Not necessarily,
Okay.
but if somebody comes in with experience, it's not uncommon to start them at a B or C step.
Okay, just depending what their prior experience may have been somewhere else.
Education experience, exactly.
Got it.
If there are no further questions or discussion, can we have the motion, please? Not on my screen, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I move the board of directors approve the updated employee salary schedule to take effect July 1st, 2021.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. May we have roll call, please?
Yes, Edgar Castellan,
Yes.
Jose Luis Godinez,
Yes.
Kim Gerald Johnson,
Aye.
Ross Leja,
Yes.
Rebecca Redorte Burns.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. If I could just add a comment here. as you're all aware, this is all public record, public knowledge that's out there. And staff is aware that this is on tonight's agenda, and there's a buzz around the district the last couple of days since this came out. So on behalf of them, I want to thank the board for considering this and ultimately approving this. It's been a long time since something like this at the district's been addressed and approached across the board. And I think you've seen over the past year how our staff did going through the pandemic, but even the last 5 years that I've been here, they've answered the call, and they've done a phenomenal job. So this is very well deserving of them. And again, on their behalf, I thank you.
Yeah, good.
All right, committee reports. We have the general manager's report.
Yes, I will, again, try to keep this brief. A lot of information coming here for you guys. As a reminder, Monday is Memorial Day, and this weekend our splash pads will be opening to the public. So those are all getting their final tune-up, and they'll be ready to go here. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend, so we anticipate a lot of people over at Glen Avon Heritage and Veterans Memorial Park utilizing those facilities. Again, we still continue to get a lot of positive feedback in regards to Skyview Event Center and the Rancho Rupa Regional Sports Park, with the number of users at both facilities growing on a regular basis. Want to remind the board that Tuesday, June 15th, we will have the grand reopening in conjunction with the City of Rupa Valley of the Eddie D. Smith Senior Center. That'll be at 10 a.m. Everybody is invited. And then on that Friday, the 18th, we will have the ribbon cutting for Skyview Event Center. Both activities will follow with what we're calling an open house until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. For those people wanting to still social distance, can come in at their leisure and explore the facilities. The great news with the announcement from the state of California last Friday of the repeal, I guess, of some of the pandemic requirements here, we will be able to operate the senior center at normal capacity. The lunch program will not be returning in person quite yet. We still anticipate that taking place in July, but until then, they will still be able to pick up weekly frozen meals. So they will definitely not be going out. So we anticipate a good turnout at the senior center. But we do also anticipate that it's going to take a little bit to get the word out that it's back open again. And frankly, we do anticipate some of the seniors being a little reluctant to come back and return to full activities right away. But we are excited for that. With that being said, the Special Event Committee on Tuesday met, and I don't want to take away from their meeting here, but as part of the state's updated guidelines, we looked at the possibility of holding our fireworks in person with people at the show. And unfortunately, because we have elected to go to a bigger show, the reality is we don't have a facility big enough that would accommodate the fireworks show and allow people to be present on site. So by doing a good thing ahead of time, it kind of tied our hands when things open back up, I guess, is the frustrating part of this. So the committee's recommendation, which is to stay as planned at Centennial, we'll proceed with the show. We still feel it's the best option available, that the most people will be able to see it. So as people start asking, it is something that we have looked at here. Other than that, staff continues to ramp up return to programming. Swim lessons do start this coming Tuesday in the morning at Rubidoux High School and in the afternoons at Arupa Valley High School. There is some spots available. For the most part, we are filling up rather quickly. And I believe, Loretta, we have all 13 lifeguards on staff now.
I believe we do, yes.
So that's great news that we were able to get all of our lifeguards on duty. We are still struggling to bring on recreation staff. I know they interviewed, I think it was 8 people today. So hopefully from that, we'll be able to get a handful of new employees to help at the senior center, the soccer park, Skyview, and then as our programs return coming forward. With that, I'll go ahead and end that, my report, because I know the special event and recreation facility policy had some stuff to add in regards to special events. So I will hold off for now.
Okay, thank you. As far as board comments, I'd just like to say that I'm very happy that we were able to do the salary schedule the way it is and bring our employees up in competitive salary ranges with the neighboring communities. They all work very hard and they are all very deserving of this. So I'm very pleased that we were able to work through that and get that done. Mrs. Johnson.
I'm also on the Budget and Personnel Committee with Mr. Legia, and yeah, we had a couple, 3 really good meetings with Mr. DeGuid and really worked through that and worked hard on getting to that point. Realistically, we're at this point because of the hard work of our staff and Mr. DeGuid that we are able to have the funds available to bring the salary schedule up to a bit more of a competitive situation and to reward our employees for doing hard work. And I too am glad we were able to do that. I'm also looking forward to our next meeting, which we're actually going to do in person at the Harub Community Center. And we've had one closed session meeting in person, and I really look forward to being together because it's been very odd to have 3 new board members and just be on Zoom meetings. And I think it's going to be great to actually be in person again. And I'm looking forward to all the events coming up that we've got coming up. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Byrne, please.
Well, as the new, I was going to say the new girl on the block, but I'll dismiss that one. I too look forward to being closer to identify people by their name. Our staff members at the, well, I'll say Easter because we were giving the Easter eggs. In just seeing the faces and not really knowing the names, I thought, oh gosh, I really look forward to one-on-one, you knowing me knowing you. And again, we try to thank everybody as much as we can, and hopefully they get the message that we are very appreciative of your work and your efforts. So we'll continue on the positive path, which is appears that that's what we've been doing with everything being what it is. So thank you again.
Thank you. Mr. Godinez.
Yes, I share the sentiments with my fellow board members. I'm really glad we're picking up steam here, and hopefully we'll be able to gather even more momentum and be more productive in person. That I really enjoyed meeting you guys, and hopefully we'll share more moments like that. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Castellan.
Same, I echo a lot of the sentiments here. I'm really glad that we're able to give our employees competitive salaries. I think it's really great for their morale, and it is rewarding them for a lot of the great work that they do, since I'm finding out that we have very loyal employees that stay here and make sure that everything runs well. So thank you to the employees, staff, and Mr. DeGuid for making all this happen. I'm also looking forward to the grand opening for both the Skyview Event Center and for the Senior Center as well. And that is it for me.
Okay, thank you. Committee reports.
I've got the agenda pulled up, Rebecca. I can run through it real quick and you can add anything.
Okay, thank you, Kim.
Okay, so Mr. DeGuid already went over the July 3rd issue. We discussed concerts in the park, and because we had previously not known what was going to happen in terms of, the reopening and that, they had originally planned to just have 4 in one place, but because of the reopening, we're hoping to have 5, and we're going to spread them out throughout the district. The Fall Spooktacular, which has been at Agate Park the last few years, we're going to move that because it's just grown exponentially and it's becoming such a popular event. We're looking at moving that over to the Rancho Harupa Sports Park so that we'll have more space for the families and all of that. Breakfast with Santa, which has been at Harupa Community Center, also an extremely popular event, lots and lots of people. We always have to turn people away from that event. So we're looking at moving that over to Skyview Event Center because now we actually have a place with more room. So we could have a much bigger event there and accommodate many more people who want to come have breakfast with Santa. We also discussed possibly some sort of new community event. To be honest, we just discussed possibilities. We didn't light on any specific thing. And when we do light on something specific, we will certainly bring that to the board for your input and approval as well. Did I miss anything?
No, that was, I was going to say a mouthful. I just wanted to add that my eyes have been open to a lot of possibilities to offer the staff and to work with them specifically in sponsorship. I think that I've called that my forte, so I hope that I am able to come forth with that. Right now I have some real positives. And what that means is possibly more people can attend, possibly the pricing would be looked at in terms of the tickets because we would have sponsorship. So I've got my toes crossed as well, but I'm really knocking on doors on people that I knew previously. So I'm really excited, even though I didn't go to the last one and that I think we had just moved in at the time. But at any rate, thank you, Kim. That was a thorough report. Mine is just comments. So thank you.
No problem.
Okay, and
I have a curious question. How's participation for the 5K going?
It hasn't been as much as we would have hoped. But as we're getting people doing their runs this week, we're getting more and more people signing up. So it's growing its legs. How's that?
Something I think that we've all learned is that the people of Harupa Valley are not necessarily a group that plans ahead. They like to buy or do or participate at the last minute. So we'll have an event that a week before has very few people involved, and then by the day of the event, it's completely full.
We got to look at
what
that.
we do out here.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. And again, immediately, I think in terms of, I think we need to come up with some kind of plan to that because that certainly does make it tough on the staff to have those last minute increases, whether it be from 2 to 5 or whatever that might be. So we might strategize a little bit as to how we can get them to commit sooner rather than, like you say, the day before. But if that's what you've observed, then there's got to be truth to that.
Yeah, it's not just us. I mean, it's any group that does an event here in Harupa Valley.
So
it's everybody. Talk to Lions Club, the Rotary, the Chamber of Commerce. People just kind of swing in at the last minute, get their tickets, and keep on going.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking in my mind and in my little treasure box. What does that mean to me? How do I get whatever tool I might think I have to offer to get that addressed? Not immediately, but certainly to throw that in as information. But good observation on your part, Kim.
I have a question for that committee. You didn't mention snow day, and it's been quite a long time. And I was thinking we might want to get a hold of the Lions Club because I have no idea where Pastor Jeff is, and he's been doing the cooking. So I need to make sure that we get something out there to him, probably as early as we can, just to prepare.
Jeff's working on some stuff and some proposed changes that we'll be reaching out to the Lions Club shortly.
Okay.
But yes, a snow day is on the schedule.
Because sometimes he's ministering up in Oregon, so I just want to make sure that we get him on board at the earliest possible convenience. So, okay, the park planning and development. Is there any?
They actually meet tomorrow.
They actually meet. Oh, you're right. I see that now. Okay. Do you need any other committee meetings?
Not right now. I think we're good for the time being.
Okay. Did any of the board members like any items for an upcoming agenda?
Mm-hmm.
No? In that case, I would like to thank everybody and say it was a good, productive meeting.
Yes.
And we will adjourn this meeting at 7:21.
All right. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Night.